The difference between a Jeep that dies at 150,000 miles and one that hits 500,000 comes down to a handful of habits. Not luck, not the model year. Habits. And the most dangerous one is something almost every Jeep owner does in the first 5 minutes of starting their vehicle. 10 habits. By the end, you will know exactly what separates the Jeeps that get retired from the ones that just keep going. 1. Cold start abuse. Most owners start the engine and drive away immediately. It feels fine. It is not fine. When a cold engine starts, oil is thick and sitting in the pan. It takes 15 to 30 seconds for full pressure to build and reach the top of the engine. Every time you rev a cold engine before that pressure builds, metal is grinding on metal with almost no lubrication. Wait 60 seconds before putting any real load on the engine. Not 10 minutes of idling. Just 60 seconds is a top-end rebuild. On a Pentastar 3.6, that starts at $4,000. 2. Skipping the transmission fluid change. Jeep owners obsess over oil changes and almost never change their transmission fluid. The service interval is 60 to 90,000 miles under normal use. Severe use, towing, off-road stop and go means 45,000. Most owners pass 100,000 on original fluid and call it maintenance-free. Fluid breaks down, metal particles accumulate. What was protecting your clutch packs at 30,000 miles is acting as a mild abrasive at 100,000. A transmission rebuild is $4,000 to $6,000. A fluid change is $200. That is the entire math. But the next fluid people skip affects 4 components at once. That is coming up. 3. Ignoring the cooling system. Coolant degrades every 30 to 40,000 miles. The corrosion inhibitors break down, and the system begins attacking itself from the inside. The danger is a pinhole leak that is invisible at operating temperature because the coolant evaporates instantly. The only sign is a slow temperature rise owners blame on hot weather. Then one day, the gauge climbs fast. One overheating event can warp cylinder heads. That repair runs $3,000 to $8,000. Flush every 40,000 miles. Use Mopar OAT coolant. Inspect hoses every oil change. $200 of maintenance prevents a $5,000 repair. 4. Never changing differential and transfer case fluids. This one affects 4 components simultaneously: front differential, rear differential, transfer case, front axle disconnect on some trims. Each has its own fluid. Each has its own interval. On a Rubicon, the rear differential also needs a specific friction modifier for the limited slip clutch packs. Skip it, and you get axle chatter on turns that eventually destroys the clutch pack. Water contamination in a differential looks like strawberry milkshake at the drain plug. If you have ever seen that color, damage was already happening. Service interval is every 30,000 miles or after any deep water crossing. Fluid changes across all 4 components cost under $300. A differential rebuild is $1,500 to $3,000 per axle. 5. Skipping the Serpentine belt. The Serpentine belt drives the alternator, power steering, air conditioning, and water pump. When it snaps, it sends no warning. It just goes. At highway speed, power steering disappears instantly. The water pump stops. Within minutes, the engine overheats. Most drivers are completely unprepared for sudden steering loss at 60 miles per hour. The belt costs $30. Replacement is under $200 total. Inspect it every 30,000 miles and replace it at 60,000 regardless of appearance. Cracks on the underside mean it is already overdue. 6. Using the wrong oil viscosity. The Pentastar 3.6 is factory spec'd for 0W 20 full synthetic. Many shops default to 5W30 because that is what they stock. Viscosity matters most at cold startup when oil has to reach the valve train fast. The myth that synthetic causes leaks in older engines has been circulating in Jeep forums for 20 years. It is false. Use the factory-specified viscosity. Use full synthetic. Change it on schedule. This is the cheapest item on this list, and it directly determines how long the engine lasts. 7. Ignoring rust until it is structural. In Rust Belt states, neglected undercarriages eliminate more older Wranglers than any mechanical failure. Jeep frames are steel. Road salt is aggressive. Surface rust appears within 2 years. Structural rust, actual metal loss from the frame rails, appears by year 7 or 8 without undercarriage maintenance. A full frame replacement costs more than most vehicles are worth. Annual undercarriage inspection plus fluid film applied before winter costs under $200 per year. That is the difference between a 30-year vehicle and one that gets scrapped at 12. 8. Running four-wheel drive on dry pavement. Part-time four-wheel drive systems lock the front and rear axles together mechanically. On slippery surfaces, the tires slip slightly to compensate for speed differences. On dry pavement, they cannot slip. The mechanical bind transfers directly to the transfer case and front differential. Extended dry pavement 4WD causes transfer case stress, front differential wear, and in severe cases, broken CV axles. This is called Drivetrain windup, and it is completely preventable. 4WD high is for loose, slippery surfaces only. Switch back to 2WD the moment you are on solid ground. 9. Skipping suspension inspections. Ball joints, tie rod ends, control arm bushings, and track bars all wear. On a Wrangler that sees trail use, they wear faster. The symptom is usually a highway wander that owners blame on alignment. The shop sets the alignment without inspecting worn components. The vehicle still wanders. A front ball joint failure at highway speed is catastrophic. The wheel collapses and the vehicle drops onto the rotor. Inspect every suspension component, every 25,000 miles, or every tire rotation. Hitching a worn ball joint costs $200. Missing it can cost far more than money. 10. Not cleaning up after trail use. The owners who reach 300,000 miles are not the ones who baby their Jeep. They are the ones who are thorough after every trail run. Mud packed into wheel wells retains moisture and accelerates rust. Mud in brake calipers causes uneven wear. Water in axle breather tubes contaminates differential fluid with no visible sign. 30 minutes of rinsing and inspection after every trail day prevents the slow damage that adds up to a Jeep that just keeps needing repairs until the owner gives up. A Jeep does not reach 500,000 miles by luck. It gets there because its owner avoids the mistakes that send most others to the scrapyard. Every habit on this list costs almost nothing. The repairs they prevent cost thousands. That is the only math that matters. Next video covers the exact Jeep maintenance schedule by mileage, every interval, every cost, and what breaks when each one gets skipped. That one is up next.